Good evening, man. Be in the building, man. Back to the hate again. A lot of hate. So, the playbook has shifted. First, it was suicide bombers. They were hijackers, suicide bombers, terrorists, to now it's Islamophobia and Sharia and, the fears of Sharia and, they just keep moving the goalposts when it comes to, Islam and, the propaganda against it. It's not gonna work, man. Do you see the eyes you're waking up? We even got people in the media that are starting to defend, Islam that are not even Muslim. They see through the lies, man. They did this to the Prophet, peace be upon him, in his time. They slandered, they push fear, all these same tactics, man. And it's the same playbook, man. It's really sad, man. The most hated people on the face of this earth, the American, so-called black man, and the Muslim world, particularly the Arabs, because they really only associate Islam with Arabs, not understanding or admitting that Islam is for the whole humanity and there are Muslims all over the world that you constantly offend when you start grouping everybody and pointing fingers and putting everybody in a broad category. It's really disgusting, man. You got people like Bill Maher. He'll probably vote for Valentina Gomez, knowing, what I'm saying, like, because they got the same kind of views. So you got guys like Bill Maher, and his Islamic tirades he goes on. Oh, the Sharia, they don't allow you. How the fuck do you know that? And not only that, like, where you getting these sources from? You just spitting shit out, man. They don't let the women do this. Yo, that's not true, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not only that, if argue your points. You know what I'm saying? Like argue your points thoroughly. Sit down with a Muslim and actually ask these questions, man. Read the Quran. You citing things out the Bible. You're supposed to be atheist. Read the Quran and then ask these questions, man, that you got. Read the hadiths that relate to the things you slander Islam about. You're looking at how a country may be ran, and you say it's under Sharia. Or, but let's go to the Quran and Sunnah, and let's see what the teachings are of how to run a Sharia, and let's have this discussion. I'm not a scholar. I ain't a scholar, none of that. Like I said, I'm just a regular person. But why don't you have a scholar come on your show, sit down with him, and ask these questions? Do your research first, but then ask these questions. What's happening is you're making people, you guys are bringing more people to Islam, and I'm loving it. So keep doing it, because this is exactly what they did the first time around. You know what I'm saying? They just brought people, more and more people to Islam. And I understand the fears, like, of places like Israel. or the world, certain groups of people. Like I said, they don't like the so-called American black man. We're a threat to them, to their very existence in this country. You know, you got the Nick Fuentes, you know, he talks, you know, he's, you know, this guy, you know, like I say, he spits a lot of racial things, and it's like you wouldn't want your kids living next to a black person, but then you're trying to clarify it like, oh, but they were murderers, and 1 out of 10, but like, fam, you do understand that's the same playbook that they doing in this land, fam. You cannot group all people into one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't group them into one thing, man. Like, and group everybody together and say this is because, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are telling you, how would you like if they do that to the white people or all Americans? And say all Americans are pro-gay and lesbian. All Americans are pro-Israel. We're not. All Americans are pro-abortion just because, you know, like, it's allowed here and it's allowed in some other states and not allowed in, but they say we all allowed, we all pro, and they just group us all together. We all like this, and we all watch porn. We all love Hollywood. We all love music. Everybody doesn't like that, man. You can't group everybody together like that. That's fear mongering. So what you're doing is you're creating hatred, and this is what the people that are behind the scenes pulling the strings want. They want everybody confused and blaming and pointing fingers at each other. They don't want Islam to rule, because then there's no more porn, free, just mixing of men and women. Women would be required to cover themselves with dignity. You know, no one's forcing you to be Muslim, so I don't know where they get that from, because there's no compulsion in Islam, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you would have to follow rules, like, yo, cover yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there'll be no more alcohol, no more dating sites, like that, you know, unless it's ran correctly. There wouldn't be no dating, no none of these things. There wouldn't be no banks loaning money on interest. You know, there would be no there would be, a lot of these things would be eliminated, man. People wouldn't make no money. Then when you look at the brothers in America, if we wake up and say, you know what, this is our land, these people's fears, like, they're gonna get pushed and cast aside, because they looking at places like South Africa when them people say, you know, we're fed up, enough is enough, and they could no longer justify what they were doing, and they had to give up that land. Look what happened. They became the minorities, man, in the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is one of the things that they're fearing. They fear being minority. That's why you got the Nick Fuentes sounding the alarm. You know, well, white people will be eliminated, and you know, he's sitting there talking about it's okay for white immigrants to come here. It's pretty much what he was telling Piers Morgan. There's not enough white immigrants coming to America, so it's okay for the white immigrants to flock here and do whatever, but it's not okay for the Central Americans and the, or any other, or the Chinese, any other group of people that don't look like you. That's racist, my nigga. Like, come on, man. If you don't want your daughter to marry somebody that she loves, regardless of their skin color or religion or whatever culture, if she loves that person, or he is in love with the girl or whatever, and you're refusing to accept that just because of color of their skin or their culture or whatever, that is racist, man. Because you're trying to preserve your race. Your race is gonna, if you are a Christian and you believe in God, then understand God's decree. If it's meant to be for you guys to exist, you're going to exist. You've been existing for hundreds of thousands of years, man, probably. So what difference is it? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Whites are always going to mate with white people. Wasn't even such thing as a white race until a few centuries ago. People didn't call all of these boundaries and borders and things and separations was drawn up by your people, man. Maps and all this shit. Your people did this, man. Like, come on, man. Like, we sitting here, man, and all this finger pointing shit, but it's like, yo, point the finger at yourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really sad, man. You know, like, I was really, he's like, he got mad at Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan was hitting you with your own words. If you don't like something, don't put it out in the universe, man. You put that stuff out in the universe, you know what type of shit you're dealing with when you get involved in the media. They're gonna dig everything up on you, man. So you can't get mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just too much of this Islamic stuff. But like I said, the more they keep doing it, there's gonna be more people you're gonna turn away. And how you fighting for people that sit there and say, yeah, we can loan our people money without interest, but anybody else is fair game. Rules don't apply to us the way they apply to you. And they're chosen people, but they don't have no ties to that land. Matter of fact, they don't have no ties to none of these lands that they occupy, except for the one probably in Europe, in Russia, in Germany. Like those, you know what I'm saying, those northern regions is your ties, man. Ties that you have to America prior to getting here. Where the slave ships that you drew, you mean to sit here and tell me you guys had enough food, you loaded up enough food to feed hundreds of people. Your numbers changed from 65 million to 10 million, 90,000. Like, come on, to 100 to 300,000. Numbers all over the place. No slave ships. Where did you get all the manpower? You're on the first of all, you sail in the sea for 3 months. So you need enough food for 400 people for 3 months. Those will be some big ships, man. Where the fuck are they, man? Where are they, man? Or were the people already here? And a lot of people that weren't slaves were just prisoners of war or indentured servants, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were tricked out of their lands and then eventually forced out, you know what I'm saying, with guns. Like, but, like I said, man, and then, misclassified, reclassified, identity stolen, identity theft, you know what I'm saying, like putting through all this Jim Crow, all this shit, mixed with Africans. Like, come on, man. And you want to, you know what I'm saying, like sitting and then act like we're supposed to forget about all that. We're not supposed to mention it. They want to make it seem like they just did everything. We just sat around, paying us to be criminals and all. These are, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these things are happening because of policies your people put in place. But we never get to those points because you guys want to just point fingers at what's going on today, but you're not looking at the policies that were put in place that put us in these positions in the first place, that put people in the hood, took us out of farms and put us in concentration camps / projects. Like, come on, man, took jobs away from us and careers and away from us and integrated us in school systems and all that, and then told us, so you don't qualify for this job, you don't qualify for this school. after you took the schools that we did qualify and we did have away from us, took the jobs that we had away from us, didn't want us in government, you know what I'm saying? So you suppressed us in the government for years. Like, come on, man. Like, put us in impoverished neighborhoods. Like, we can just keep going, man. They don't like the fact that, you know, women like us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they think they're gonna lose their women to the brothers, man. Just keep it tall, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't like mixed breeding. They never did, man. You got stories of some that you see that some of these, you know, rich white ladies would use their slaves as sex toys, man. Like, come on, man. They were getting more pleasure dealing with the brothers, man, than their own people. They don't like that. They don't like these little country people. They don't like to see their daughters, you know, getting impregnated by brothers, man. Come on with brown babies. They don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So they see the nation slipping apart, you know, and they'll do anything to protect it. So fear mongering is a huge part of it, man. Paint all the black people as criminals and you know, make people scared to be around us and apprehensive, and you know, and majority of us work like me and mind our business, man. We don't like crime. We don't want to see none of this shit. Some of us overcame a lot of those things. You know what I mean? Like, but we all get painted with a broad picture, man. Same as Muslims. We got millions and billions of Muslims around this world, but you focus your concentration on one region and want to broaden that to the entire religion. Like, and people are living their lives. You got white Muslims, you got Asian Muslims, African Muslims, American black Muslims, alleged. Well, South American Muslims all over. Where all these terrorists and all of this shit going on, and Sharia, and what are you talking about, man? You can't implement Sharia in no one else's land, man. You have to obey the rules of the land, obey those in authority of you. You can't implement Sharia somewhere. But these people, you know, I don't understand it, man. Just fear-mongering, man. You don't mistreat our women. When I walk outside, go to the masjid, I don't see no women being mistreated. What are you talking about, man? Like, I don't understand that shit, man. I grew up around Muslims. I don't see none of that stuff, man. Like, come on, man. Oh, we're not living in a Muslim country. But they can't. I don't think it's happening there either. Show me the evidence, man. And if it is, you know, well, how can you fix it? Where's your, like where is, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can show me where it's happening at, what's the context of how they're doing it? Is it culture? Or is it the way of the Rasulullah, peace be upon him, mixed with culture? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Sometimes cultural practices can get mixed into religion, man. Or your way, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, you know, let me let you guys go, man. I'll get back at y'all later, man. We gotta stop this hate and this propaganda bullshit, man. And let's get to the facts, man. And let's start loving each other as people, man. We all human, man. We all deserve to live, man. All right. Have a good night, God bless.